the difference between first year and second year, I saw it in your point guard. In other words, he finished his basket cuts much better in the second year than the first year, and also his choice of next best actions once he got his feet in the line. I think maybe of all the players in our team, he stood out to me.
There's a couple things. One, when you first start to learn it, I felt like I was like, boy, this is easy. You basket cut, dribble right, you circle move it right, dribble out, you backdoor, And I was talking to a coach about it, and he said, yeah, wait till you try to get all 5 guys doing that. That's really tough. And I figured out early that was tough because it's new. It's not a habit. Guys are thinking it's so slow. And what I noticed was, one, that was tough. Two, it was really, I'd watch other teams doing it as we were putting it in. And I think I can call you, I was like, they don't basket cut. And I talk to X, Y, and Z about that all the time. Well, a month later, I realized we're not basket cutting. It's really hard, just like everything else. Bad habits develop when, you get tired of that. And I think you can get a lot of cheap baskets off of a deep basket cut. I also think the better the basket cut, the more it moves to help, the more it allows for a draft drive. Those are things that I do think maybe we saw the second year and said, God, we need to be better at that, and we need to demand it. And we started to do drills where we put basketballs around the perimeter and just take one player at a time. And I hate doing one-person drills because there's too much standing, but we'd have shooting going on at other goals. We would make the person pass, cut, score, and touch the nail hole, touch the little spot under the floor that we had put there.
Right.
Sprint back out, set a back screen, pass, cut, get to and so we really started drilling that. You got to get underneath the basket, and so hopefully that helped our players. And then, the comfort level. I think part of it is they need it. Once you get a layup or two deep in the lane, boy, that's something you can show them on film.
Right.
And they say, well, that worked. And then
Eric got it a lot.
He did, especially against teams that really pressure.
Right.
Because what happened, what I've seen, what we do, most teams that really pressure, you're in a hurry to get rid of it. You cut hard. Well, they're trained. Boom, get out in the passing lane. They pressure the ball and then run with you for a couple steps.
Right.
But there's so much pressure that the help usually isn't as dramatic in the lane. So if you can finish that cut, you can get a basket later. And I know Eric did a pretty good job. Plus, he was fast. He played hard.
Right.
Which that's a big part of it. This offense exposes you if you're not in shape, I think.
Right.
Because you get tired running.
Right.
Because you're not standing still.
Right. Well, defensively, how did this help?
Well, it's funny you say that, and I'll be completely candid with you. It's got to help you jump into the ball. If it doesn't, then it's got to help you jump into the ball. But otherwise, you're not. If it's not helping you there, then in practice we're not doing a good job of hitting the open man. Because if they're not jumping, then they should be getting the ball in the lane for a layup or a post up. So I think, one, it helps you jump in the ball. Two, I think it helps condition you defensively. It helps you move and helps you think. But where it hurt us initially was defending the common down screens, double screens, because we weren't as good defending situations early in my first year as we had been the previous 3 years. And I realized because we're not doing it as much. So year 2 is a little, you put that in your mind and say, hey, we got to make sure we're still defending these actions every single day. So I feel like when we put all that together, it helped us. So I don't know if that completely answers your question, but it definitely helps you moving with the ball and jumping to the ball.
Well, no, what that tells me is the read and react actions, you need to make sure you're understanding, the coach is understanding what this is demanding of the defense.
Right.
Okay? So if you need defensive work against situations, you better start teaching the layers of the read and react that create the situations. You need to be feeding the post.
Right.
You need to be setting pin screens. You need to be penetrating baseline or whatever it is that creates those double team rotation types.
And one of the areas that we don't do a lot of is the multiple screens, and therefore that was something we didn't do as well with, especially initially.
Right.
So, but all in all, I think positionally it helps you a lot, and as the ball moves, you move. Helps you a lot.
Well, I finally got this dynamic defense put together that which I owe you and your team and your gym a lot getting this done. And I feel like I finally got both halves of this, that we can understand one through the other. You can understand your defense through your offense. You can understand your offense through your defense. Why does the offense break our team down and, with this particular layer? Oh, well, we've not been jumping to the ball,
right. Right.
Or why is it our team breaks down whenever we feed the post? Well, I need level 3 defenders, I need to start working on those situations. Hey, I can stop the situation, but we get beat on the pass out. They find the open player before we can rotate. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I've finally gotten both halves of those, and I think just the saying that iron sharpens iron.
Sure.
We can use one to sharpen the other and go back and forth and grow both.
Absolutely.
At the same time. That's what I'm shooting for now.
Well, and I think, I think the system, I'm anxious to see the dynamic defense, but I do know that the read and react does build on both sides of the basketball and even transition. And, that's another part that we added to our transition game. I had been a traditional secondary break guy for a long, long time, and there was great stuff in it. But for what we were trying to do, we started flowing right into it and felt like it got us in the offense quicker. It flowed more quickly, and we enjoyed doing that. And that made our transition defense better because we had to practice it and we had to run. So I definitely think that, the Proverbs, iron sharpens iron in that regard.
Were there times when you just had doubts when you were about to tank on this and deep six it and go back to what you were doing? And also along those lines, do you have any advice to anybody who's ever maybe tried to put in the read and react and just said, gosh, I can't teach this, I'm not seeing the progress or whatever, or maybe they're just looking at it for the first time and wondering?
That's a great question. I don't think, and you'd have to ask my assistants because I'm sure they could laugh at the thoughts I've had at times since I've been here, but I don't think we've ever thought, man, this isn't working, we're not going to do it. Part of that, it's sort of against our philosophy anyway. I mean, we don't want to do a lot of things, but what we do, we want to do well. And so once we committed to doing this, we want to do it. But we saw the spacing in it. We saw the opportunities it was giving to allow good players to make plays. So I don't think that I ever remember thinking, like I said, at the end of year one, my thought wasn't, what do we need to scale back? It was, you know what, we have to do this against man or zone. I do remember there are times where initially I felt like we are really running this thing well. You almost feel like you get it. And you told me this. She's like, you're really going to advance a lot, and then you're going to hit a lull, and you just got to keep grinding, and then it'll click. And I think for me, especially as a coach, you never want to feel like you've clicked because that's so antithetical to what a coach. You're always trying to keep moving forward, but I do remember thinking, man, we're doing a great job. We're cutting so fast, and then all of a sudden we're like, oof, we're stuck in neutral here. We're not doing a good job. But again, I think that's so much the case with any offense. I do know this after running it for 2 years. If I had a 7-year-old youth team to coach, there's no doubt that's what I'd run, and I would put in the first 3 or 4 layers and stick to those. If I was coaching a high school team, this is what I would run. If I was coaching a college team or even above, this is what I would run, because I do believe in my heart it's teaching basketball players to play basketball. And I'm just a big believer of building a sound fundamental base and then allowing these players to do what God's given the ability to do. And this is the framework in which we do it. And so, my encouragement is to less is more a lot of times. There are still 2 levels that we have not. I think they're great levels. We just haven't put them in for either personnel, or I was just afraid that it may keep us from doing something that I felt was more important. But at the end of the day, for us, we go back and watch tape. We got to make sure our spacing's good. We got to make sure we're cutting hard, and we got to make sure we're circling and moving. And it's just like anything else. You usually, when you break down, it's your fundamentals are broken down. Well, the fundamentals of this offense, and I can say this without offending you, it is your offense. You have created it. But I think it'd be safe to say you have stolen every part of this offense from someone else. I mean, it is great fundamental basketball, which you found a way to tie these things together to allow them to work together. And so that gave me, who's skeptical of change, a lot of confidence that, hey, this is a lot of, Coach Knight's motion, or this is a lot of the European circle movement that's been so effective in international play. Or, Coach was here the other day. Do you have screen rolling? I'm like, yeah, absolutely do. We do as much of that as our personnel allows. And when we get somebody that's great at running that with the ball, the other team's going to see a lot more of it. But if not, we're going to try and spread out and do what we do. So I guess that was a long answer to a pretty easy question. But I never felt like, do we need to give up on this? There have certainly been times where I felt like I'm not getting us better at this. And God, these drills, do I need to come up with more complex drills?
Right.
Generally, the answer for me was no. We need to drill simple actions, right. And then the combination drills I do think are really important. Changing gears from driving north south, pitching, driving again, post play. Just tying those things I think are really important. And figuring out which drills you're going to do to make that work for your team are important. But I feel like the more you do it, just like anything else, the more comfortable you get in that. And we're at a place where we're pretty comfortable with what we're going to do now. How successful we'll be moving forward, who knows? But we like the way we're playing.
Right.